The sharp clang of a gavel echoed through the courthouse hallway, a sound that jolted John Parker from his restless pacing. His boots scuffing the polished wood as sweat beaded on his brow despite the cool March air filtering through an open window. He straightened his Stetson, the rifle left behind, but its weight still a phantom in his hands, the burn on his forearm itching under his denim sleeve. Today was the hearing, his ranch, his lake, his life on trial against Richard Grayson's money and bulldozers, and the tension coiled tight in his chest like a spring ready to snap. He'd ridden into town at dawn, the lake's scarred shore haunting his mind after yesterday's siege, and now stood outside the courtroom, the murmur of voices seeping through the heavy oak doors. Out here on his 200-acre Texas spread, he'd faced rustlers, storms, and betrayal. But this was a fight of paper and power, and John wasn't sure his grit could win it. The doors creaked open, a bailiff waving him in, and John stepped inside. The room a sea of suits and stern faces. Grayson at the plaintiff's table, silver hair gleaming under fluorescent lights. His lawyer a slick city type with a briefcase thicker than a steer's hide. John's crew filed in behind. Mary Ellen Carter, her braid neat, her blue eyes fierce. Frank Hensley, gray hair wild. His soldiers calm, unshaken. Jake, Sarah, and Matt, their faces set with resolve. Tom Carter, shoulders hunched, guilt still shadowing his gaze. Sheriff Hargrove sat in the gallery, badge glinting, a silent ally. John took his seat beside their lawyer, Sam Torres, a wiry man with a tie too tight and a fire in his voice. The divorce decree and corruption files spread before them like a shield. Judge Clara Monroe, a stern woman with gray streaks in her bun, banged the gavel again, her voice cutting through the hum. Case 24-317. Parker versus Lakeview Partners. Eminent domain claim on Parker Ranch. Counsel begin. Grayson's lawyer, a man named Vickers, rose, his tone smooth as oil. Your Honor, Lakeview Partners under Mr. Richard Grayson's direction seeks eminent domain for economic development, resort jobs, public good. The state approved, citing Mr. Parker's inability to maintain the property. Rustling, fires, financial strain. We've got signatures, permits, and precedent. Torres shot up, his voice sharp but steady. Objection. Your Honor, those claims are fabricated. John Parker's deed is clear. Upheld last week. Full ownership, no joint title. Lakeview's sale was forged, their permits greased with bribes. We've got evidence, emails, payments, testimony. Monroe's eyes narrowed, her pen tapping. Present it, Mr. Torres. John leaned forward, heart pounding, as Torres laid it out. The divorce decree, its missing page restored, proving the ranch is alone. Emails from Grayson to state officials, cash trails to numbered accounts. Tom signed affidavit, detailing his meetings with Grayson's scout, the $5,000 for spying. And this, Torres added, slamming a photo of bulldozers on the lake. Trespass yesterday. Grayson's crew, no court order, tearing up private land. Vickers smirked, rising slow. Testimony from a confessed traitor? Mr. Carter's unreliable, took bribes himself. And the state's approval stands. Public need trumps one man's nostalgia. Tom shifted, face red, but Mary Ellen gripped his arm, whispering, stay strong. John met his gaze, a nod of grudging trust. The kid's words their ammo. Monroe scribbled notes, her voice firm. Mr. Grayson, your response? Grayson stood, his presence chilling the room. His voice smooth but edged. Your Honor, progress isn't free. This lake's wasted on cattle. Resorts bring revenue, jobs. Parker's a relic, clinging to dirt he can't hold. The state sees it. Why don't you? John's fist clenched, rage simmering, but Torres held him back, whispering, let me. He rose again, voice rising with fire. Grayson's no savior. He's a thief. Forged signatures. Jake, Sarah, Matt Parker, never sold. Paid off Deputy Rawls to loose Caleb Wheeler, who's now dead to bury the trail. This ain't progress. It's greed, and we've got proof. The courtroom buzzed, Grayson's smirk faltering Vickers scrambling to object, but Monroe silenced them with a gavel bang. Enough. I'll review. Recess 1 hour. John stepped outside, the sun high, pacing the courthouse lawn with his crew, coffee from Mary Ellen's thermos bitter on his tongue. Think she'll buy it? He asked, voice low, the lake's fatal weight on his chest. Frank sipped, his soldier's calm steady. Truth's loud, Grayson's slick, but we've got paper. Hold fast. Jake kicked a pebble, frustration boiling. He's got the state. Money talks louder than us. Sarah squeezed his arm, her voice steady. Not today, evidence don't lie. Tom lingered apart, his voice quiet. I messed up. Hope this fixes it. John met his eyes, the trust thin but growing. It's a start. Stand tall in there. The hour dragged, the sun baking the grass, when the bailiff called them back. Monroe sat, her face unreadable, the gavel heavy in her hand. I've reviewed, she said, voice cutting the silence. Parker's deed holds, full title, no sale. Lakeview's permits, tainted, bribes confirmed. Eminent domain denied, ranch stays Mr. Parker's. Trespass charges pending against Grayson's crew. Case closed. A cheer erupted. Jake whooping, Sarah hugging Matt, Mary Ellen gripping John's hand, Frank clapping his shoulder. Grayson stood, face a mask of ice, and strode out, Vickers trailing, his briefcase slamming shut. John exhaled, relief washing over him. The ranch his, for now. Dusk fell as they rode home, the lake glowing gold. Bulldozers gone, Hargrove's deputies hauling stakes from shore. At the house, they gathered, coffee, cornbread, the map spread wide. Won the day, Frank said, pistol gleaming. But Grayson's not done. Money don't quit. Mary Ellen nodded, her hand in John's, warm and firm. Court's ours, but he'll twist something, always does. Jake leaned in, voice hard. Next time, he won't walk away, bulldozers or not. Tom stood, rifle in hand, his voice steady. I'll watch the ridge, prove I'm with you. John nodded, the trust mending slow, the lay-com outside. Night deepened, the group splitting, Frank scouting the highway, Jake and Matt checking fences, Sarah prepping files for Hargrove, Tom on the ridge. John sat with Mary Ellen, the silence heavy, her presence a balm. Think it's over? She asked, voice soft. No, he said, rifle close, the lake a dark promise. Grayson's licking wounds, planning. We've got the law, but he's got power. Dawn broke, the ranch quiet, when hoofbeats sounded. Tom, riding hard, face pale. SUV on the highway. Grayson's rig, slowing by the turnoff. He's back. John stood, chambering around. The click loud in the stillness. Court's done. Now it's us. He rode out with Frank, Mary Ellen, the kids, Tom leading, the lake shimmering under a rising sun. Grayson's SUV idled, a figure inside, binoculars glinting, then peeled off, dust clouding the road. John reined Dusty in, the ranch his, the verdict won, but Grayson's shadow stretched long. Money, vengeance. A titan unbowed. He'll hit again, Frank muttered, pistol ready. Let him try, John said, voice steel, the rifle raised. The plains were his, the fight far from over.